All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Down South Up North. Kyle, got a little bit of a new setting behind you.
Yeah,
But
man.
how's your week going? I know we took a little break on Wednesday, but we got some big news to announce today. But how's your week going?
It's going good, dude. Just working. I'm tired waking up at 4:30 in the morning. It's taking a toll on my body, but you could see my background. It's a professional setting. I'm sitting on the floor in my bedroom right now, so that's always nice.
Yes, sir. Hey, but to cheer you up, we got your Falcons back on
Oh, baby.
back on the show, dude, for the good reasons, not poor ones
Yeah,
like we've been,
yeah.
yeah. Anyways, so since the show has started, Kyle and I have kind of been going back and forth about bringing on more people to bring their insight on the show. We were thinking about multiple guests throughout the week, maybe just on Fridays. But since it is Friday, we have a brand new guest who is going to be around for a while, strictly on Fridays. A sportscaster, alumni himself, like Kyle and I. Please help me introduce Mr. Gabe Hutton. Gabe, welcome to the Down South Up North family. You can just kind of take a second to tell everybody why the hell you're here.
Yeah, Matt, I'm so glad to be here. The reason I am here, for one, chit chat with my Full Sail brethren. You can't do anything better. It's nice to hang out with the guys. But for two, I'm kind of gambling Gabe. I get my UFC picks every weekend. Your boy, last pay-per-view, didn't have a lot of luck, but still 7 of 9 on pay-per-views in the last 9. So my money's there, my picks are there, and your boy's going to be here for y'all when you need some money on the weekends, you know?
Absolutely, dude. UFC, big growth in that sport. So we will get to that segment later. But Kyle, let's start with your Falcons, brother.
Dude.
They've been on fire. Last week
Yes, they have.
they go out and they trade for Matt Judon from the New England Patriots. Then they signed Justin Simmons. That brought my eyes like all across my screen. I'm like, what the hell is this? Did not see that coming. And then just yesterday, they extended AJ Terrell to a 4-year contract extension, one of the best young corners in the game of football. So, with that being said, I'm going to open the floor. Dan Orlovsky said that the Falcons are now Super Bowl contenders. I think that's going a little bit far. Kyle, do you think they're Super Bowl contenders heading into this season?
As a Falcons fan, I mean, I wouldn't say yes, but anything is possible. If they win the last couple weeks of the regular season, win the South, potentially get a bye, and play good football in the divisional and play really well in the NFC Championship, it's very possible. To win a Super Bowl, I don't think that's this year, dude. But later down the line, I firmly believe that. I think we're going to see Bijan have his breakout year, and then Kirko. It's going to be nice having a veteran quarterback that's not a terrorist. I hate Arthur Smith. I'm going to say it every time I talk about the Falcons. Gabe, you're going to be in for a long season, brother, since he's a Steelers fan. But, dude, the defense, that was always the problem with this team. It's like, bro, the offense is fine. Drake London, little sleeper. I mean, he's a 1,000-yard guy almost every year. It was just that defense, dude. And I thought last year was the year. We got Bud Dupree. We got some other weapons. Or not weapons. We got some guys on defense, but that didn't work at all. So getting Justin Simmons, Matthew Judon, I really like the Judon pickup, dude. We need like a vet in the trenches. We did have Calais Campbell, but that's just like, that ain't going to cut it, dude. He was just there for the money. He was just there just to play a little bit of football. You could tell he wasn't leading the rookies and the young guys on how to do a successful swim move on a guard or anything like that. I feel like Judon could bring a lot of insight to the defense. And Simmons, that surprised me so much, dude. Him being one of the best safeties in the league alongside Jesse Bates, that's going to be a no-fly zone. So Can't complain, dude. And then AJ Terrell. We all know AJ's Terrell. His kryptonite. It's Jamar Chase and Caesar Superdome. So hopefully he doesn't have to face Jamar this year. But AJ Terrell, really good young corner. I wanted to put money on Falcons NFC Championship appearance. The odds were crazy like a few months ago before obviously Simmons and Judon and all those other guys. So I firmly believe we can make the NFC Championship this year. 100%.
That's a bold take.
Bro, think about it. The NFC is obviously not as strong if Brock Purdy gets eliminated in the divisional, if you take out the Eagles or just a sleeper NFC team takes out another juggernaut like the Eagles or even your Cowboys or whoever, dude, it is very possible.
Oh, but all right, Gabe, I'll let you go in a second. Kyle, to that point though, there's a lot of young teams in the NFC. The Detroit Lions are coming. Like, the Green Bay Packers are back. The Los Angeles Rams are being... I think they're a little overhyped going into this year, but the Los Angeles Rams are going to be good this year. Those three teams, Niners will be good. Jahan Dotson is now on the Eagles. They're going to be good. Like, there's a lot of pieces. And then if the Falcons are good, right, it's going to be around 6 or 7 teams competing, which that's how many teams make the playoffs. But
you're going to see a team like maybe the Rams, maybe just a team in the NFC that kind of surprises everyone, that sneaks into the playoffs, and they're constantly going to be playing football, dude. I mean, I hate them. I talk about them all the time, but look at the Phillies, dude. They just make the playoffs. They don't win their division. They just have a good enough record to make the playoffs, constantly play ball, keep the bats hot, keep the pitchers warm, the bullpen's locked in, everyone's locked in, and the same is with football, dude. Winning the division is nice, and you have to really compete with the number one team to make the playoffs, but in your division. But dude, it is very, very possible we could see like a Rams or maybe I'm trying to think of another team. I was thinking Seahawks, but no way 3 teams out of the West.
The Bears, right? The Bears. No, that's true, dude. Packers. But dude, that's going to be a very competitive division this year. Mm-hmm. Maybe 3 out of 4 teams make it to the playoffs this year. Who knows? All right.
Not at all. Not even close to me, personally. We're talking about a division that was by far the worst last year. Like, come on, bro. I mean, I get the Packers made it, but somebody's got to shoot down. I don't think the Bears are going to go from the second worst team to all of a sudden being a contender right away. I think it's a little overhyped.
Okay, well, contender making the playoffs that's not the same thing. I didn't say they're going to win the Super Bowl.
And if you make the playoffs, you're a contender, right? Like, I mean, with your Falcons team.
Yeah, but he's saying he's saying the Bears could sneak into the playoffs.
Potentially. But
like, they could be in the hunt for a lot, like for most of the season, no doubt. Well, it's all on Caleb Williams, dude. Dude, I could sit here and talk about this shit forever, dude. Bears will be in the hunt. It's all up to number 18, dude. If he sells, it's over. But who knows, dude? Who knows?
There's potential there. But to your point on the Falcons, like, this might be the best Falcons team we've seen since
2016, bro.
Yeah, since their Super Bowl run. I think this is the best D-line the Falcons have had ever since 20 years ago, maybe. Like, an absurdly long time. Y'all got my Clemson boys up front. Grady Jarrett, obviously a beast. Matthew Judon. Finally, you guys have someone to set the edge. Rukaroro. I hope I said that right. I don't even know. I think I got it. But Rukaroro, he's going to make some impact right away. He was an early second-round pick. I really think this is the best D-line the Falcons have had in over 20 years.
I feel like that 2016 defensive line, that was like Vic Beasley's only good year. We had a vet and Dwight Freeney and Don Terry Poe. So, like, the ceiling is very high for this defensive front and this defense as a whole. The ceiling is very high. We got a new head coach. We got a new offensive coordinator. We got a new defensive coordinator. Like, we have loaded up on everything. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the season.
And those pieces, we talked about the coach last week. The coach always had empty promises until he picked up these veterans. I think the coach is finally like fulfilling what he said, trying to win now, trying to make that push that the Falcons fans really haven't seen for the past 5 years. So definitely good key pieces that they've added.
Yeah, and to your point about making all those moves, a couple days ago, they promoted Ryan Pace to Vice President of Football Operations. They had a new promotion to Director of College Scouting. So it seems like the whole organization is kind of being revamped.
Love to see it, dude. Really love to see that. Like, we just got to turn the page from what has been going on in this organization for the last 10, 15 years, dude. Got a new chapter in Atlanta. So, I don't know, dude. As a Falcons fan, after seeing, like, I remember sitting in front of my TV, I'm thinking Dallas Turner. I'm thinking all these guys, all these defensive guys from, college, Alabama. I forgot their names, dude, because I try to like not remember that moment. But seeing Roger Goodell come out to the podium, say with the number 8 pick, Falcons select Michael Penix, my heart dropped, dude. I was sick. I was sick to my stomach. But now they've saved it because they've really turned it up in the backside of free agency. So can't complain now. So we're all good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, things are looking up.
All right. Enough of the shitty Falcons. We all know they're gonna be ass this year again.
Okay.
But moving on to the newest segment to the show, Gabe, I will let you kick off your own segment.
Gabe's Gambles. This is where I get to have the most fun. We're talking UFC primarily for the gambling. Maybe we'll dabble into some football once the time comes. But right now it's just UFC. And honestly, this is one of the best fight night cards I've seen in a long time. Last fight night was an absolute snooze fest. But this one, it's actually got one of my favorite fighters. And I know that hasn't been good recently. But this is one of them guys I've been betting on ever since his first fight in the UFC. And he hasn't missed. Let me grab something show my card to show you guys I'm really invested in the kid. Caio Borralho, man, this guy's a stud. He's the main event for this card too versus Jared Cannonier. Caio, I believe, is a strong striker. He's not as powerful as Cannonier nearly at all. But Caio's got that well-rounded game. He will try to take him down even though he's a jiu-jitsu specialist, but he will also stand and strike with you and make it look kind of easy. A lot of his opponents, when they try to start striking with Caio, he kind of makes them look worse, if that makes any sense. So the first of the lay, we're kicking off with Caio Borralho. He's minus 250. I feel like that line should be almost minus 350, minus 400. So we're getting some good value off that one too. And now I'm going to switch it right over to some women's fights. I know not a lot of people know about these women's fighters, but you might know about Angela Hill. She's one of the fighters. She's fighting Tabitha Ritchie. I think Tabitha Ritchie gets it done. Angela Hill, it's only a minus 120 odds for Tabitha Ritchie, Angela Hill. So it's basically a 50-50 fight somewhat. But Tabitha Ritchie, I just think she's got more of a bag to her. She's got definitely a better ground game to me. Angela Hill will be still trying to use her wrestling, but she, in her past few fights, she just looks like a journeyman. And if Tabitha Ritchie is really hurt, she's going to take that step up right here. And plus the odds, I believe, minus 120. You can't beat those odds for a fight that I believe should be more of a minus 200, minus 250. And I think it's going to even switch closer to the weekend, so get your bets in early. Now, you guys are ready? Number 3, boys. Number 3.
Been waiting for it.
Edmund Shabazian. That's the end of the lay. We got 3 fights. Edmund Shabazian. If people may remember her, that's Ronda Rousey's butt buddy, who she used to swear was one of the greatest fighters until he got knocked out a couple times recently. But he's versus Gerald Meerschaert. Gerald Meerschaert, he's another kind of journeyman. Edmund Shabazian is kind of falling into that category, but he's a lot younger. He's had a lot less fights under his belt, but I think that could be a good thing, as Gerald really only looks for the takedowns. Edmund's more of a striker, so he's been working on that takedown ability, boys. a lot throughout his career, and that's all he's going to have to fight off against Gerald Meerschaert. So that's my 3 to run it back. We're taking Edmund Shabazian. That's the earliest fight. And then we're going to take Tabitha Ritchie. That's that minus 120. That's what's going to get you the money up. And then the final one is the main event. You got to tune into Caio Borralho. If you don't know him, as Dana says, now you should, because you need to check that kid out. He's about to get a sweet victory. How we feeling about it, boys? What do you think? How we feeling?
Feeling good, dude. But I mean, I know you went a cold weekend last weekend. So
It was Burr. It was a little chilly. But also, that I would like to point out last weekend, just to defend myself a little bit. Last weekend was one of the biggest underdog weekends in the UFC history. I mean, over 50% of the fighters that were dogs won, and normally it's only 2 or 3 fighters on a whole card. So, to be fair, it was obscene for everybody. All the gamblers for UFC weren't hitting.
When's the last time you lost 2 weekends in a row?
Knock on wood, it's been over. Bro, it's almost been a year. I know that sounds crazy.
Okay.
But you got to think pay-per-views are only once a month. I've been 7 for 9 in the last one. I can't remember the bet before that because I wasn't like keeping track of everything, posting it on my stories. Now posting it on the page here. But your boy hasn't lost 2 pay-per-views in a row in a minute. But I also don't believe I've lost a pay-per-view and fight night in a row for at least a year. And this is a good fight night.
So have you, these fighters you betted on, have you been watching them for quite some time now and doing your research and stuff like that?
Yeah, I will, like the Contender Series fighters, they're brand new. I will watch them just to get my knowledge up. But realistically, I like betting with guys I know. I've watched Angela Hill her whole career. She's not a dog. She's trash. She's a journeyman to a T. And I believe Tabitha can get the job done. Like Caio Borralho. Do I need to show you again, Kyle? Bang.
Let me see it.
Come on, man. Caio Borralho. Come on, man. Come on, man. Bought this card for $30, like I'd say like 2 years ago, or year and a half ago. Now it's around 70, 80, and he's about to get this win and then fight for the belt very soon. Maybe next year. Very soon, though. So I've been watching these guys for forever.
Soon? Damn, dude. You confident in this guy?
Oh, I mean, Jared Cannonier's top 5 in the middleweight division. If he beats him, we got to talk. Hey, Dana, keep talking.
I feel like Jared just fights like he's the top guy in the division, that where there's a young guy coming up, that's going to be their first test, is always Jared.
Yeah, and he's good enough to get it done against those guys. I mean, he proved it. That's the reason he got the fight with Adesanya a little bit back, if everybody remembers. But and Izzy just kind of outclassed him as a striker. And that's what I think Caio can do here. He's not 100% a better striker, but I think he really will make it look a little bit easier the way he mixes everything up. And Jared, I truthfully believe, only has a puncher's chance. So if he can hit him with a big one.
Yeah.
We ain't missing from now on, boys. I promise you that.
Well,
that's why
you got a lot of people counting on you watching this show.
Now we going to hit. It's because it's the episode's up. We going to hit now.
Yes, sir.
And Gabe, explain to everybody what you've been doing prior to this in terms of posting and letting people know, and how you've been getting people to reach out to you.
Yeah, so before this, I was just kind of talking with the boys, giving them my picks. They know me as the UFC guy. Obviously, being a sportscaster kind of helps validate your opinion regardless of betting. But at the same time, I noticed I'm like, damn, I'm winning a lot on the weekends. I'm not betting a lot of money, but I'm winning a lot. I'm not a big gambler, as crazy as that sounds, but ever since I realized I'm doing well in these picks, I'm putting parlays together where it's plus 800, 500, and I'm putting down $50 and winning like hundreds in return. I'm like, maybe I should share this. And ever since I've been sharing is the 7 for 9. So I was winning before that, but started sharing it with receipts, y'all. I could pull up the receipts, posting before every fight, and honestly, we're hitting like crazy. The 2 pay-per-views ago, I got the Bilal Muhammad on the parlay for plus 1,400. That was big bread, y'all. Big bread. And kind of just kept rolling ever since.
All right, so starting today. Actually, no. Starting after Saturday, we're keeping a tally for you. Keeping a tally chart.
One.
Oh, want to know?
That confident.
That confident.
All right, bro.
You can start with
I like
1-0,
it.
Matt.
Hey,
Come on.
and then one. So what's the next? What's UFC 306 look like?
306. That's a big one. That might have to be an exclusive because that's International Fight Week. That's at the Sphere in Las Vegas. Marab versus
Sean
Sean
O'Malley?
O'Malley.
Yeah, yes, sir. Okay, so look, we for big weeks, big fights, we'll double up.
Okay.
Depending on,
Okay.
I mean, obviously, if you're taking the favorite, but I know you're more of a.
If it's like a banger card, you pick 6 fights instead of 3.
Oh, I normally choose 5, to be fair. And I
Okay,
like,
so
I like
yeah.
choosing 5 normally favorites, but then I choose my dog of the day. We can start throwing the dog of the day on pay-per-views for sure, too. Big dogs. I've been hitting on the underdogs a lot recently.
So a total of 6 is what
Yeah.
I'm hearing.
The dog never goes on the leg, depending on who he is.
I was about to say, so you post the dog of the day when?
Dog of the day comes up right before the fight card because the odds on favorites always go up. So you want to go with the underdogs closer to fight night, unless certain fighters, like you'll know which ones should be closer to even. But yeah, underdogs always just continue to get better odds right before the card. So I usually post those right away. But we can give a sneak peek to who I think will shoot up and rock with that because they're still going to be underdogs, but I get the bet placed in right before the card starts.
All right.
We about to cook, boys. Come on.
Sounds good to me. I mean, hey, start something. All fights before this show, all bets are off. So
Last week didn't count, dude. So, new slate, new beginnings. Let's. I want to see. A masterclass here on Saturday from Gabe. So
Gabe
get it,
gambles.
dude.
Free money. Come on,
Absolutely.
man.
No, dude.
Come on, man.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. Sorry, my background is so jank. Like I said, I've been sitting on the floor recording this. My legs are literally about to give out, so we got to end this episode. But if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, check. The social media is down in the description below.
Comment.
Gabe, welcome to the show, brother. It was a pleasure having you on the show today, giving us your picks for UFC, what is this, 305?
It's a fight night.
It's
Oh,
Fight
fight
night.
night, so it's not even like an actual card.
Nope.
Okay, so thank you for giving our pick or your picks for fight night. Hopefully, it goes good, dude. I'll definitely be watching, but appreciate you joining the show, man. It's gonna be
Hey,
sick.
glad you could add greatness to this show. And I'm about to be undefeated with my picks
bro.
ever since.
The show
You're gonna
was
hear me
our-
talking my talk, talking my shit, and then I'm going to continue to do it. Greatness on the show. G Hut is back with
Hey,
another gambling Friday.
we just
Come on.
sprinkled greatness. All right, it was already great before, but
Yeah, we just sprinkled some more greatness on it. All right, guys. Hope you guys had a good Friday. We'll catch you in the next one.
peace.
Peace.